What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is just gonna be my little 2 cents on the Soul Train Music Awards. I just got finished watching them. Let me tell y'all something. Every year when I look at the Soul Train Music Awards, it just makes me miss R&B. It makes, and I mean real R&B. And I'm not talking about neo soul. No disrespect. I like neo soul too, but I'm talking about just some straight R&B. Like it just makes me miss my R&B. Let me say that. My R&B. My 90s R&B. That's what, I grew up listening to 60s and 70s, right? Because that's what my parents listened to. But when I came into my own with my music, I'm talking about my R&B. And so tonight's show, we had Tashina Arnold and Tisha Campbell hosting, which I love them. Y'all have heard me talk about Tisha Campbell before if you watch my videos. I love Tisha Campbell. I've been a fan of hers since, like I said, Rags to Riches. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, get into it. But and so they did what they do. You know what I mean? You could tell that they're good friends and they play off of each other. They did their little opening a sequence where they were dancing to like a lot of the 90s songs. And I was like, okay. And they said that was the theme, is that they were taking it back to the 90s, which they did. For the most part, they did. They gave us a lot of 90s. And it was funny because, a lot of times when they do these opening sequences, people run out of breath because, like, people who not used to dancing and singing at the same time, they run out of breath. And so I was like, Tisha Campbell had herself a track. When she was supposed to be rapping, that was a track. And I said, I ain't mad at you because she was dancing too. And it's hard to do both, right? And Tisha Campbell, who always could give you some dancing, again, House Party, go back to her old movies. She could always give you a good dance sequence. But baby, ain't none of us as young as we used to be. Tashina Arnold, of course, can blow. And she did that tonight. She showed you her pipes. So it was a good intro, right? And then after they did their intro, they brought up BBD. Anybody who know me know I'm a stand. I'm a stand for New Edition, BBD, Bobby Brown, RBNK, whatever. The Gentleman, whatever group, reincarnate, spinoff, reconfiguration of those 5 men, well, 6 if you add Johnny, always I'm here for. And I was sitting there watching it and I was like, I know they are so fucking sick of singing Do Me Baby. Like, I know they sick of it. I know they sick of doing them dance moves. I know they sick of it. And don't get me wrong, I know it pays the bills, so they probably ain't that sick of it. But, and I'm never going to get sick of it. You know what I'm saying? They can sing Do Me Baby till I die, and I'm cool with that. But it's just so funny watching them because I was like, why don't they do something like, why they don't give me, what's that other song? Oh, shit. The slow song. Like, why don't y'all ever break out into like and do the slow song? I don't know why my brain is drawing a blank. But anyway, it was great because they always give you a nice little, and y'all know my man Ronnie DeVoe. Sorry, Shamid, he's still my husband, girl. But he give it to you. He may not be giving you the vocals all the time, but he gonna always give you the slick dance moves and give you his nice little rap. So they did it. They had a nice little intro and it was cool. My girl Lettucey won the first award of the night, I believe. And y'all know I'm a stand for Lettucey. I love her. I love to see her be acknowledged for her work because it's always easy to, like I said, I'm always get sick of seeing them always have her up there doing tributes to everybody else, but they act like they can't never acknowledge her and her greatness. So it was nice to see her win her award. Then they did like a little skit. Tashina and Tisha Campbell did like a little skit, which I guess is supposed to be like a reality. It was like a reality show type thing. They had confessionals and stuff, where basically it showed them checking into the hotel and having a room, the suite for the show, and Tashina was playing party girl. We got these suites, let's get it in. And then Tisha Campbell was playing straight, like, no, we got to practice and get ready for the show. And the only reason why I'm even getting into all of that is because, so they had like their own version of Alexa, but it was I'll Be Sure. And I guess that was like bringing in the whole 90s thing. And all I'm going to say is this. Why I'll Be Sure had that man bun on the back of his goddamn head? What the fuck was that? What was that, Albie? What was that? Anyway, I always remember I'll Be Sure because he canceled when he was supposed to come here with New Edition, I'll Be Sure, and it was somebody else. Who else was he with? I can't remember who else he was with. And he ended up canceling, and then at the last minute they had to add, was it Salt and Pepper? Who did they add at the last minute? But that's what I always remember I'll Be Sure as, is that he canceled on DC, honey. And there was like all these rumors that people saw him in other places, but he was scared to go on stage. It was a mess. It was a mess. That's that old high school shit. Anyway, but you know, everybody was always in love with them. Some I'll Be Sure. I'll Be Sure was, I thought he was cute, but I was never in love with I'll Be Sure. You know what I'm saying? But I thought he was cute. But anyway, so that whole Alexa I'll Be thing, eh, eh, eh. It was like, but it like halfway through the show, we didn't even see them anymore. Like they didn't do a whole lot after the first part of the show, which is fine because the show flowed without it. Like they didn't need a whole lot of extra. You know, when Erykah Badu hosts the show, she does a lot of skits, which are funny. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing because her skits are funny. But you just didn't see a whole lot after they did the beginning. But it was cool. Something else that I loved about this show, y'all, is that they brought a lot of old. They did a lot of throwbacks, right? But everybody looked and sounded good. I hate when they bring up old groups from like my heyday, the 90s or even the 80s, hell, sometimes even the 70s, and they bring these people up here and you're nostalgic for them, but they don't look good. They don't sound good. They don't look healthy. They look like they pulled them out of a damn, you know, off the corner somewhere and gave him a shower and a suit. You know what I'm saying? But John B came out there and he sounded good as hell, and he did the damn thing, had on this nice little green velvet suit, honey. He was looking fine as always. Then Donnell Jones came out there. Wasn't crazy about Donnell Jones' outfit, but he sounded good. You know what I mean? Like I love seeing that. I love seeing that people come out here and it gives you that throwback, but the visual is good too. Then we had the Soul Cypher, which had Luke James, Queen Naja, Kelly Price, and another guy who I can't think of his name right now. But it was cool. They did their thing. You know, it was nice. It was a nice little cipher. You know, I like the Soul Cypher because, again, it's a play off of the rap cipher, but you get these real R&B singers, women and men who can sing, and that's what they do. They get up there and they sing their little ass off, and it's cool. And Erykah Badu DJ'd it or whatever, and that was cool. Then we got into some of the Lifetime Awards. So they gave the Legend Award to Erykah Badu. Now, and I'm wondering if that's why she wasn't the host this year, or if she just decided she didn't want to host it, because she's hosted for like the last 2 or 3 years. And I know that she like was an executive producer. She wrote a lot of the stuff, so I knew she was like very involved. And but she won the Legend Award, which is well deserved. Again, I can remember the first time I heard. It was actually, I saw the video before I heard the song of On and On. And the video was a play off of The Color Purple and everything. And I remember buying her CD, Baduism. I remember buying the live Baduism. I remember all of that. And I've always been a fan. And one thing that Dave Chappelle said, they always had people talk about them. And Dave Chappelle said, people always say that Erykah Badu pushes the boundaries. And he said, I always feel like she never had them. And I think that's true because she, even tonight, she had this thing hanging off her damn nose while she was accepting her award. Now, when she sang, she took it off. But I was like, why Erykah always got to be extra? But that's just who she is. She's always been extra. I love how she just never lived by anybody else's rules or anybody else's norm. She had babies when she wanted to have babies by whoever she wanted to have babies by. She didn't give a damn that all her kids got different baby daddies. She raising them. She ain't asking nobody for nothing. Like, she just has always lived by her own rules. And I love the fact that her and Andre 3000 have this great relationship. He was one of the people that talked about her. In case you didn't know, you learned that she was a part of a rap group first and then got into music. So she was a rapper before she got into music, but she's always had this beautiful voice, right? And then she performed. So, of course, she gave us, she did her thing, gave us a nice performance. She did the usual standard. She threw a song or two in there that wasn't as commercial. But for the most part, she gave you some Tyrone. She gave you some, she didn't do On and On, I don't think. But she did Tyrone. She did My Eyes Are Green, which is actually one of my favorite songs by her. I wish she had done, The block's hot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I got that badass beat. But that's a whole, like, I could do a whole Erica concert. Like, she could have just been the whole show and I would have been cool with it. But she did a good job. You know, she did her thing, which I don't think, I've never been disappointed in Erica Badu performance. And I've seen Erica Badu, like I said, I've seen her for years. I've seen her different parts of her career, and I've seen her for years, and I had never been disappointed. I've never walked out of an Erica Badu show going, what the fuck? I walked out of an Erica Badu show going, she was high as hell. That was when we were in Essence. Me and my sister was like, she high as hell. But it was still a good show. Um, The other thing I noticed that they gave album slash mixtape of the year. I love it. Once again, it is showing that these award shows are evolving with the industry, because people drop mixtapes today. They don't do traditional albums. You have so many independent artists, even artists who didn't used to be independent, who are now independent, and they just drop their own projects. Like Chris Brown was one of the people nominated. I don't really follow Chris Brown like that, but I know that he is constantly putting out new music, and he's doing it via mixtapes. Like, I don't know when the last time Chris Brown dropped a studio album, and if you know, drop it in them comments. But because I don't really buy his music, but I just know that that is really what's out now. Like, people are doing mixtapes, people downloading singles. I know that's what I very seldom buy a whole album anymore. If it's an artist that like an artist that I'm like, oh, that's my girl, I'm buy that album, like, no questions asked. But newer artists, or I'll be like, let me get that song. Let me see how I feel about that song first before I just drop a whole album at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people kind of are like that. So I like the fact that they seem to be evolving with doing that, right? We saw a trailer for American Soul, which at first I thought they were saying an original series. I thought it was going to be a TV show. But then when they showed the trailer for it, it looks like it's Don Cornelius' story. The story of Soul Train and Don Cornelius' story. So I don't think that's going to be a series, maybe a mini series. And it's by the producers of the New Edition show and the New Edition movie and the Bobby Brown movie, which the New Edition movie was excellent. They did an excellent job with the New Edition movie. The Bobby Brown movie, it wasn't as good. But what I did like about the Bobby Brown movie is that they had the same actors. Like, they were able to keep the same people who played their characters in the New Edition movie. I don't think the storyline was as good, because I don't think the parties involved were willing to be as raw as New Edition was willing to be when they told their story. They let it all out. Like, they gave you all their business. The good, the bad, the in-between, and the ugly. Whereas, I don't think that the Bobby Brown story, first of all, Whitney wasn't here to tell her side of the story. And Bobby and his new wife, I think Bobby wanted to clear his name. I ain't going back down there. I did a review. Look it up. Anyway, so I want to see that. I definitely want to see that's coming out in February. And last but not least, y'all, Faith Hill, Lord, Faith Evans, she got the Lady of Soul Award again, much deserved. I love Faith. Somebody throwback. I love Faith. I grew up on Faith. I've always thought that Faith was unsung. Like, if you're a Faith fan, you're a Faith fan. But I don't think she got the commercial recognition that she should have gotten, because that woman can blow. And tonight, she sounded good. She looked good. And Stevie J introduced her. And let me tell y'all this. When it first came out that her and Stevie J got married, a lot of people were, myself included, sort of questioning the whole thing. Questioning the motives, questioning the timing, questioning whether this was some real shit or not. I think the two of them are really in love. Like, seeing how he spoke about his wife, seeing how he introduced his wife, seeing how she responded to him, I think it's real, y'all. I don't think it's no bullshit. I think that maybe for a long time, I think they probably over the years went back and forth. Maybe they might have dibbled and dabbled, might have been friends with benefits, but I think they were genuine friends over the years. I think they had a genuine friendship. And she's probably one of the few people that know Stevie J beyond the persona of Stevie J. And I think it's real, y'all. I do. After seeing that, I think it's real now. They're gonna prove me to be a liar. Next week it's gonna come out some bullshit. But and then Carl Thomas came out and sang with her. And again, he looks good and sounded good. So I thought it was I thought it was a good show. Kid and Play was in the audience. I thought maybe they was gonna get up and do something, and if they did it, I missed it. I ain't see it. But I thought it was a good show, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think.